women not being allowed to wear patent leather shoes. The world is currently on fire, and with the current social situation and the current health crisis, 2020 is just one big old fucked up situation. Despite all of this, I've been navigating through my everyday life and trying to socialize as much as I can when I go on errands, while trying not to get my lungs judo chopped by the Rona or have my black pride kicked in by a territorial Karen. Now, one day I was out shopping with my friend Rennie. Now, Rennie is definitely the type of person you want around you if some shit goes down. You can be the type of person to commit a 6-star crime and she'll give you a place to hide out. You need energy for a spirit bomb, she gassing you up to the point where you don't even need the rest of the earth. Now, see, Rennie is like if Huey Freeman from the Boondocks and Number 5 from K&D did the fusion dance. She's cool, but militant is all fuck. It makes me feel insecure shit about my blackness when juxtaposed to her. Now, she's been going out to many of the peaceful protests that'll spawn from all the BS going on, but knowing her, she definitely would end up whooping someone's ass in self-defense. Well, I'd hope it'd be self-defense anyway. But considering this, I wanted to hang out with her the day she was going to go to a protest in Canton, cause you never know what could happen. So I hit her up, she said bet, and came and scooped me to accompany her on her trip to go shopping. As we get into the store and go down the many aisles looking for the stuff she wants, she gets a bunch of miscellaneous shit and some roller skates. And when it comes to Rennie, I just learned not to ask about this kind of shit. The less I know, the less likely I am to be an accomplice to something. Then, as we're getting stuff from her list, we get to the cereal aisle. She had cornflakes on her list, and when we got through browsing, she found some. And when we found them, she seemed like fucking shocked. Like she just saw water in a dry desert. And I confusedly asked her, like, it's just cornflakes. They're not even that good. And she said, I don't even know my suburban privilege in being able to say that. And she goes on a rant and tells me about how in her hometown of Columbus, it has a law that makes it illegal to sell cornflakes on Sunday. We were shopping in North Canton, which is where she recently moved to, and apparently this was a big deal for her. Now, I look at her and just say, Rennie, that's fucking stupid. The words that are filling up that face mask of yours are stupid. That's not an actual thing. And she claps back and says it is, and to think otherwise is what my privileged Clevelander mindset would have me believe. Which, also, no one's privileged in Cleveland, even if you live in the suburbs somewhere. It's fucking Cleveland. The only privilege you could ever get is being able to drive down the fucking street and not get yeeted out of your damn car because you hit one of those balls deep ass potholes. And then she goes on one of her typical Negro conspiracy theories about how the head of the government wants black people to be in the worst shape possible so they'll be relying on food stamps and be less effective during the oncoming race war, and replaces healthy food like cornflakes with shitty cereal like Cap'n Crunch, or better known as the chewing glass experience. Now, I can never tell when Rennie is just shitting around or being serious, but I googled it out of morbid curiosity and found out that it's actually a law. Like 90% of what she said was nonsense, but it being illegal to sell cornflakes on a Sunday in Columbus was true apparently. So while we switch seats and I drive back to her place, I'm just thinking how fucking stupid of a law that is. Like, why would that even be a thing? And Rennie's like, there's more where that came from. You think the laws your feeble mind knows about are bad and restrictive? Well, the ones you don't know about are even worse. Ignorance of the law does not protect you from breaking it. We stop by her house to drop her shit off, chill for a bit, just shoot the shit, and then she drops me back off to my house, and I just become consumed with learning more about these hidden laws Rennie is talking about. I start simple and just look up the obscure laws for my state of Ohio, and to my surprise, but not really to my surprise, Ohio has a lot of them. And all of them are fucking stupid. Apparently, as early as the 1700s, Ohio had a plethora of goofy ass laws that probably made sense back in the day, but lack any sensible reason for existing today. Most of these laws are blue laws, meaning they're still written within the Ohio law books, but are rarely enforced, meaning you can technically be charged if an officer really wanted to fill that quota. But as Rennie stamped in my mind, with today's racially volatile climate, she got me thinking the police will arrest protesters for walking backwards while eating a donut. And yes, that's actually a thing in Marion, Ohio. There's a lot of these goofy ass laws like the one Rennie said about cornflakes. For example, women not being allowed to wear patent leather shoes. Cars aren't allowed to scare horses. Women are not allowed to be present in public with unshaven legs or face. Yo, women can't do shit. But some simp just got curved by a bitch wearing patent leather shoes, or some hairy ass troglodyte looking bitch, and he's just coming after everybody. But there's a bunch more of these, but I want to go over the ones I find personally hilarious. A policeman may bite a dog to quiet him. Now, imagine a Karen calling the cops to report your loud ass dog. Blue rolls up, and instead of politely asking you to put a muzzle on the fucker, they just go like, "Oh, for real? Well, rough bark too, bitch," and just bite your dog to establish dominance. Honestly, fuck Corona. How's Ohio not more concerned with rabies? It's illegal to kill a housefly within 160 feet of a church without a license. So, like, imagine being harassed by a fly the whole last day, and you decide to finally square up with that nigga, and before you deliver the finishing blow, the hand of Jesus himself stops you and tells you to take that blasphemy away from the church because you ain't got your fly swatting permit. A lot of mosquitoes about to convert to Christianity. Fucking murder hornets invaded niggas' lawns like the Crusaders, forcing you to convert to the Holy Scripture before they stab a hole in your fucking chest. In Toledo, it's illegal to throw a snake at anybody. Now, this is one of those laws that go without saying, but I want to know who is out here yeeting snakes at people for it to be so specific. Like, did Jebediah challenge Hubert to a duel back in the day, and this nigga Hubert gets the bright idea to roll up with a snake, and the sheriff is like, "Now why you don't did that shit, Hubert? You could just shot the motherfucker in cold blood like you're supposed to. Now the motherfucker running around with a snake on his head, Hubert. You ain't got no damn gun because you want to be snaking the Boots McGee, Hubert, so I gotta shoot the motherfucker, and I got glaucoma, bad eyesight, I can't see for shit, Hubert, so I'm gonna waste about 4 bullets, probably kill 2 additional more people because you didn't just want to use 1 bullet to shoot the motherfucker. You dumb fuck, now I'm outlawing this shit, Hubert." It is illegal to get a fish drunk. So, like, you go fishing, right? Snag a fish, and instead of eating it, you ask it about his day and pass it a beer, and 2 sips later, he's like, "Man, and the crazy thing is that hoe was feeling my drip. She said she loved me and shit, and then she got them new legs and shit and started acting brand new. Done left me to fuck with some land walking nigga, and don't even get me started on that damn oil spill. I just bought me a house and that shit come pouring in, fucking on my security deposit, and then I saw my fucking neighbor family get murdered in cold blood." So I'm traumatized by that shit, but finding a therapist mad expensive, and I ain't got healthcare, and then my nigga Henry choked to death on a plastic 6-pack of Coke container, polluting assholes, and this shit been rough, bro. Like, man, fuck living under the sea, come save me. Fuck under the sea, come save me, man. I'm just glad I got somebody to talk to who don't leave me because I've been going through it, bro. In Canton, if one loses their pet tiger, they must notify the authorities within 1 hour. Bro, in the age of post-Tiger King, this doesn't even surprise me. Just unqualified goofy brainlets trying to have a pet tiger that escapes and goes on a killing rampage around the block. Like, a lot of people are gonna try to be Joe Exotic and end up being Joe put in the dirt, fucking with these tigers. Just leave tigers alone. Just don't fuck with tigers. In Akron, it is illegal to display colored chickens for sale. Oh, okay. But what about the white chickens? So Cotton Eye Joe can't display his brown or blue cocks to the world, but his little old white cock can get shown to Susan and the kids? Yeah, Malcolm X choking the chicken of oppression on this one, bruh. Mad as fuck. No more than 5 women can live in one household. So apparently back in the day, brothels consisted of 5 or more women, so in order to outlaw prostitution, they basically started yeeting every second woman out of the house so they wouldn't get the place moist with their wap. So essentially the government is saying if there are 5 women living together under a roof breathing, then they're So if you're in Ohio, be sure not to do any of these things, or you might get arrested, or you might not, who knows. And though I never want to admit it, I actually learned something from Rennie's uber revolutionary ass. So I called her up and told her that she didn't make me woke, but she did provide me with something to entertain myself during all this madness. She tells me that arming my mind with knowledge to protect myself isn't entertainment but necessity, and I just agree with her and asked her if she's safe and how's the protest. And she tells me it had gotten canceled because more people were squatting to the Akron and downtown Cleveland protest than a little rinky-dink one in North Canton. So I asked her, where the fuck is she? Cause it sounds really windy. And she fucking tells me she's out roller skating down the sidewalk of her neighborhood. And I'm like, what the fuck, why? And she said she didn't want to uproot her plans of protesting in North Canton because the gathering fell through, so she just do a mini protest by herself. And I'm like, how the fuck is roller skating up and down your neighborhood protesting? And then she proceeds to tell me that she didn't notify the cops, which is illegal to do if you live in North Canton if you're roller skating.
Overthinking these meditations, body still, your head is racing.